The Uganda we want. So mu Uganda gye twagala mu lutalo luno olw'okulwanyisa obulabbayo obukenuzi nze kyempita obuvundu. Munna Uganda alina okuba nga yeenyigiramu.
Ffenna twenyigire mu lutalo.
Ate abalala tebasomye kuzimba wabula bayize okuzimba.
Uganda gye twagala okulaba ng'enguudo zonna nkole nungi, public transport nga weeri.
Kati eno gavumenti eriwo erina akabonero ka Lucifer. Buli kyotunulako mu Uganda kiriko oxygen. Either babika amawulire malungi oba mawulire mabi. Minisita teyeetaagisa kabangali budde buno zaaki.
At this time, why should somebody import furniture from outside Uganda? Let us leave NRM to be in charge for another 36 years or more.
I really want to see a Uganda that believes in the rule of law. If you have a constitution in place, follow it to the letter. Don't change laws just because you want them to favor you.
Kuba njagala omanye nti obugagga bwonna Uganda bwe yeeyagaliramu buyita waffe ku ttaka lyaffe. Naye busoga mugidibaze.
How can a referral hospital refer you to a private clinic? The Uganda we want buli muntu ateekwa okumanya nti I am a stakeholder, nkwatibwako si kwesuulirayo gwa naggamba.
Uganda oyinza okukakana nga mwe mulina bagraduates aba university nga bangi okusinga Ebungereza. Mwe mufokasinga nnyo ku degree. Eri bo bafokasinga nnyo nti byensomye mbijeemu omulimu n'enkola.
We are dreaming of a Uganda where at a young age there is such a relationship between parent and son, parent and daughter, where the daughter can say, this is what I want.
Uganda gye twagala empya tesobola kubeerawo nga tewali mateeka. Amateeka agakola.
The Uganda we want. Welcome to the program, The Uganda we want. My name is Mulanzi Robert. I'm so honored to be back with this show, The Uganda we want, on Dream TV, Doxa TV. At the same time, our friends who are listening to us on Impact FM, we want to say thank you so much. And before we start off, I want to encourage you to visit our YouTube channel, The Uganda we want. Please go there. We've hosted a number of people, key leaders of this nation, and fellow Ugandans who have shared their views on the kind of Uganda that we need. But I'm so happy that many of them have given us a way out. How can we develop the kind of Uganda that you and I desire, that we want to live in? And to me, that speaks volume, and I believe even you'll be encouraged after watching and listening to what they have to say. Well, today again, we are so privileged to host Council Enock Tumwine. He's a partner at Advance Advocates, and the little that I know from him is passionate about what he does. You see, we have many Ugandans who are doing what they are doing but not passionate. They are like, oh, I wish I can stop from doing it right now. That's their prayer. But to him, it's not the case. And today we are going to listen from him. Let me invite him to greet you. And again, I'll ask him to tell us a little bit more about himself. What don't we know? What we know is, what I've just shared with you. He's a partner at Advance Advocates. But we could be not knowing more from him, and he can tell us. Council, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. And I want to pass on my greetings to all our viewers. Like you've rightly put it, Enock Mpuugu'S is my name. I'm a partner at Advance Advocates, and I'm a married man. I am a father to two beautiful daughters, and married to only one woman, that is Rose Tumwine. I convey my greetings to her and the entire team at home. I'm a Christian.
They must be watching.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah. I'm a Christian by faith, and I am a born-again Christian. I am a practicing Christian. You know, there are Christians that are not practicing their Christianity. But I am a practicing Christian, and I value that very much because it shapes and guides many of the decisions I make. because as an advocate of the High Court of Uganda, there are many things that call onto your decision-making mechanism. So the sense of direction you take on many things. Because as we handle files on each day, each file is a life behind it. There is a life you are saving, there is a life you are handling. So sometimes the manner in which we handle the cases, the decisions we take, the approach, all should be shaped by the understanding that you have a spiritual higher being whom you value, whom you understand. So to me, that is God. And for me, I'm shaped by the Christian values. I started out as a lawyer working with Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity. I served the institution for over about 8 years, starting as a student coordinator right from the university, rose through the ranks to a point of being a project officer, doing many work, helping out many Ugandans in affording, who can't afford actually fees to pay for lawyers, because Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity is designed in such a way that it offers free legal education, legal advice, counseling, but also representing people in courts. So freely.
Wow.
And it is spread out in the whole of Uganda. Started as a student movement from Makerere, the days of Justice Mike Chibita when they were still at campus. As Christian, they said, what can we do to the Christian community? So they used their legal knowledge to come up with an organization that can help Ugandans access free legal services. So I started out my career right from there, right from campus, till today, where I am a partner at Advanced Advocates. So, well, I am privileged and honored to be hosted here. And I'm very willing and ready to engage with the audience on the matters that I do believe I have little knowledge about. That is the legal practice. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, before I drive you to the legal field, let's go back to the Christian field.
Correct.
You said you were practicing Christian.
Correct.
What are some of the challenges you have faced as a practicing Christian? Probably you can help someone else who is also Christian is out there, may want to get an encouragement from you. And how did you overcome such challenges?
Well, when I say practicing Christian, I mean an active member of a church. Okay. So I have a community church where I fellowship from. That is Nyanama Full Gospel Church. So humble greetings to my pastors. When I say being a practicing Christian, meaning you put your faith into action, not on as a one-off. You know, there are Christians that come to church on a Sunday and they never go back to church. Or they do not even appreciate the fact that even in the work we do, you must use this workstation as an altar to serve Christ. So for me, I use my desk as an altar to serve Christ. I don't need to be in the church halls doing all that. But where I sit, it should be able to reflect the Christian values in me. So challenges you face as an advocate of the High Court, but also having the Christian values. Many times you are tested between your faith and what the client wants to do. Some clients come with a predetermined mind that they do believe that the judicial officer is to be bribed. So the client tells you, in our local dialect, the Uganda, "Kanso tulabo mulamuzi," and you know what they are meaning. And when they say that, as a Christian, you must weigh between the position of the law you have, the Christian values you know, and the action the client wants to drive you to. So this has happened often, many times. And it's that inbuilt faith in me that before I even take a case to court, I should assess the facts I have against the law. Before I start going into the corridors of justice, seeking to see so and so, to give me, sometimes you ask for unavailable favors. You ask for a favor that is unavailable. So for me, this has happened a lot as a Christian who is doing legal practice. You find people at many times trying to push you into unethical practices. That is one area, of course. But also there are positions of the law that would want to test your faith. For example, as a Christian somebody would say that you wouldn't be, representing wrongdoers. I don't want to use the other word, but people who are viewed in the eyes of society as unfit to be in it. Like somebody, the whole community has really confirmed that so-and-so is a murderer, so-and-so is a thief. And then they see you walking out to represent them in courts of law. But this is what I tell them, that Christ came for the unholy. Christ came for the unworthy.
The unrighteous.
The unrighteous. So I seek out to reach out to them in the way I can. That's what I do. So our Christian values are tested against our practice at many times. But I think the resilience, the opportunity lies into being able to navigate through at all times, keeping your head high as a Christian, and to keep your testimony at the end of the day. Because I think the most important thing is to keep my testimony, that I stayed a Christian even when I was handling a storm. But challenges happen even in churches. We do cases involving men of God and women of God fighting over church property, left, right, and center. This is happening every other day. I think as a Christian, there is a time I was doing research about the church in the UK. And one of the findings was that many church buildings in the UK are on sale in market. They are selling those buildings out. And the reason was that at one point the management of the church had lost connection with the right church building, which is the human being. So they had concentrated on the building more, the structures, and these structures over time need to be reshaped, need to be changed for purposes of the development of the country. So some church buildings now in the UK are actually bars. But why? It's because the real church Christ came for is not the building. It's us, the human beings. So if your church is in your heart, is not ministered to, the building is nothing. Building is nothing. Therefore, as a Christian, I find many challenges, but how I navigate is the guidance I receive from Christ.
Wow, you've already preached. I don't need to bring a pulpit. You only need a microphone.
Thank you.
I wish Christians could know that. Sometimes we've had some churches coming up with market ministries, go in the market. Of course, they talk about in your office, everywhere you go. Our managing director here, the presiding apostle, he preached some time back and was encouraging Christians, hey, you don't have to come to the pulpit I am now, like where I'm standing now.
Correct.
Wherever you are.
Correct.
Preach the gospel.
Correct.
Minister.
Correct.
And I think he was right, and you've just nailed what he said. Well, we may not go into deep with what you've just said. We may leave you to the, as we normally say, the consecrated ones. But coming back to the legal field where you spend much of your time, Ugandans, I would say, they could still be confused of how our court system works and how it is. It is a big arm. The judiciary is the third arm of government. We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So we want to know, could you give us an overview of the court system in Uganda?
Well, thank you. It's such a wider, ask. But this is what I have to say. I think the starting point is that the supremacy of any legal system is the people. So all things derive and come from we, the people, the citizenry. The legal system is established for us, the people. The police, the politicians, they only exist because we the people do exist. In any case, you can't have a country without people. Now, I think when you say the Uganda we want, the first thing is us, the people. We must be organized in such a way that, first of all, we are a country. We must be organized in such a way that we understand what we are in. Because you see, those systems you've just laid down, the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive arm of government, as they are, we normally want to say that they are like three cooking stones or stones. You know, when we are growing up in the African setup, we used to see our parents cook on the three cooking stones. So those three stones support whatever you are cooking. So if one of them is not at the same level with others, then there has to be, you can't have a proper meal in any case. Which is why when you talk about a Uganda we want, the judiciary, which you've just asked, should be at the same level with other arms of government for you to have a proper meal called Uganda delivered. Now, the legal system in Uganda starts with our very people, the community itself. We have the local council system. We even have a law called the Local Council Courts Act. It establishes the first court as the LOC1 chairperson court. People actually go there for small disputes, fighting on the road, stealing someone's mangoes, small matters of the community. So they should sit. Now, you have an appellate court right from there. Now I'm laying out the system right from LOC1, LOC2, LOC3, LC5, LC3. So you have all those local council courts. But these courts, the challenge is that those people do not even appreciate that they are a court system. Some of our local leaders.
So we established a local court
system
in local court system in Uganda, where people who are supposed to manage them.
Correct. Some of them do not know. They do not understand the composition of the court. So if I am a chairperson of LC1, you find a man walking on the village with a stamp. So he sits alone in a tree and he believes the entire committee has come out. And they deliver a ruling or a judgment when there is no record. No one has written anywhere. They have just heard. And before you know it, they have said, so and so is the winner. But there is no record.
This land belongs to so and so.
Correct. But in any court system, you must afford the opportunity to everyone to be heard. You must record the findings. You must allow people to challenge evidence against each other. But if you don't train the local council court system, people that manage them, how many members should sit on that committee for them to deliver or render a decision? You understand? So all that must be put in place. So the local court system has that challenge, but it doesn't take away the fact that they are established in the law and they should run. So I think the only issue should be either through the office of the Minister of Local Government and maybe the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Those ministries should work out with some lawyers and train these local court systems. So we have the LOC1, we have the LOC2, we have the LOC3. Now, I have had the decisions that come from the LOC. Somebody has a problem, they rush to the LOC3 court. That is an appellate court. It is not where you start your matters from. It should come as a matter of referral. That somebody has sat in LOC1, they have failed to resolve the matter. They have referred you to LOC2, they have failed to resolve the matter. Now they refer you to LOC3. So all that is the challenge. Now when we finish the local council court system, we go now to the formal judicial system where we start with the magistrate court. So a magistrate court must have a grade 1 magistrate and then a chief magistrate. We used to have back then what we used to call the grade 2, but they have phased out those ones. Now we do grade 1 magistrates. Now, these ones are judicial officers who handle matters whose pecuniary jurisdiction. Now, that is some legal jargon in there. But a pecuniary jurisdiction is the capacity or the ability or the power a court is given of how much it should handle, disputes of how much. Because when we talk about jurisdiction, we are talking about both territorial jurisdiction, pecuniary jurisdiction, and many other things. For example, you can't find a court in Kawempe handling a matter of Chankwanzi.
Oh.
So we are saying that each territory should have its judicial officer who should handle matters that arise from that area. Now, once you have a chief magistrate, not chief justice, chief magistrate, then you can now go to the High Court. So you have started with a G1, and if you're unsatisfied with the decision of the G1, that is a magistrate grade 1, you can appeal to the chief magistrate of the area.
Oh, so with the local councils, we see reference.
Yes.
With now the magistrate courts and high court, now there is appeal.
Correct.
You appeal.
Yes, you are making an appeal.
Yeah.
I think even the other reference is another word for appeal. But for them, they use the word, we have referred you. But in other words,
because initially they used to refer them to police.
Yes, so they are also referring you to another court. So you come to the chief magistrate. Once you are also dissatisfied with the decision of the chief magistrate in your area, you can go to the high court. The good thing is that many high court circuits are spread all over Uganda. I think the interesting part is that in Uganda, we only have one high court. But this high court is spread all over the country in different circuits. So what we see in Masaka High Court is the High Court circuit of Masaka. What we see in Kampala High Court, it is a High Court circuit of Kampala. But it still remains one High Court.
Oh, is this supposed to be like that?
That is how it should be in the law.
So are you satisfied with it? I'm asking you personally.
Well, with that structure, yes, I think yes. I think yes, because it now helps people to address challenges. Justice is brought nearer to the people. I think the only issue is that our population is growing so rapidly. You find some districts are highly populated. You find some areas, and you see, the more the population grows, the more judicial or justice demands arise. And the more you need to have more people nearer to the judicial service system in the area. But I think another challenge is that some of the districts are so big. You find one area, one judge, High Court judge, handling about 4 or 5 districts. They all report to one person. But I think that is work in progress. We do believe that see, when I was studying law, there is some concept called progressive realization of things.
Oh,
yeah. that when you are looking for services to the population, you must be able to put into account the availability of funds vis-a-vis the needs of the people, vis-a-vis the level, the priorities. So government came up with a concept called progressive realization of these things.
Someone was saying that is an excuse from those who are in government. They say, you wait until you're this side, you realize how things are progressively worked out.
That's very true. Because sometimes really we as the citizenry, we may demand too much. But I think you must also see effort. So for me, it's about the effort. Is there something being done? And is it actually working out? So I am seeing very many high court circuits being launched and established. So for me, there is hope in that. Even the far to reach or hard to reach areas like Kalangala, areas like what? The other day I saw people talking about launching a mobile court. A mobile court. I think the new Chief Justice was talking about buying tents, buying boats. I think I don't know whether they are going to be handling a court session on water, but at least they said that they are going to do that. So for me, that is hope, because then people cannot complain. So once we finish the High Court, we now go to the Court of Appeal. Anybody dissatisfied with the decision of the High Court, he or she can appeal to the Court of Appeal. Now, a Court of Appeal, there you have about three judges. Now, these 5 judges, so, but the panel is always 3. Now, the panel of 3 judges will now evaluate all the information you have brought to come to a conclusion as to whether or not you have a matter, you are right or you are wrong. Now, but the Court of Appeal also doubles as our constitutional court, because there are matters that are of purely constitutional interpretation. So the same Court of Appeal judges sit as a constitutional court. Now, once you finish the Court of Appeal, of course, we go to the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land. And once a decision is determined by the Supreme Court of Uganda, the matter is put to rest, because it is the last appellate court in Uganda.
Unless if it is politically resurrected.
Maybe for
I'm the one adding that.
Yes.
So that one belongs to me. It is,
That's
unless
true.
if it is politically resurrected.
Correct. So really, that is how we have. So we have that judicial system. But there are other courts that I've not talked about that are into our judicial service system.
So are they recognized by structure?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the what we call the quasi-judicial bodies or courts. For example, Uganda Registration Services Bureau, the registrars in Uganda, they have powers given to them under the Companies Act to entertain complaints within company matters, and they can render a decision. So by virtue of that, they are given what we call quasi-judicial power. But also we have the tax tribunals. So you find people in a court system that is about taxes. You have the tax appeals tribunal, you have all that. So you have the electricity disputes tribunal. We have lawyers, we have people that are litigating. In your area, a transformer just hits your area, you lose billions of money into your company and all that. You can ably lodge a complaint into the electricity disputes tribunal, and they will entertain it. There are legal officers there, there are judicial officers there, they will help you out. So these are not in the mainstream, they don't come easily to the people, but they are in the system, they are helping out people. We have the industrial court. Now the industrial court is majorly focused on employment matters. But there are judges there. They are, you start with the labor officers who have legal knowledge.
And we have labor office. Actually, we are supposed to have labor officers at every district in Uganda.
Correct.
146 districts.
Correct.
We must have labor officers.
Correct. So you find that labor complaint system, where you start with the labor officer, where they now, after some time, they refer you, or they forward your matter, or they push it to the industrial court. That is also another system that gives justice to people. So I'm trying to bring out these justice areas where people can go. You have
How about the tribunals we are from the corruption,
the anti-corruption?
Anti-corruption.
Yeah, that is a high court. Okay. You have the high court, specifically a high court circuit specifically for anti-corruption. You have another high court specifically for anti-terrorism. You have, so these are court systems that have been brought in place to address specific areas. Yeah, international crimes, is also another high court.
Where does the military court belong?
Yes, yes. So we have the military courts, the military court system. You see all these, but all these have where they are coming from. They are created either in the UPDF Act, they are also created either in the Income Tax Act, they are either created in the PPDA Act. So you have these tribunals, even the PPDA, the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act, creates a tribunal where people who bid for government contracts if they feel dissatisfied, they can move the tribunal to entertain, to investigate, to render a ruling. So the military court system is also in our system. But you see, some of these things, you only get to know them better once you interact with them directly and you have either a challenge with them. Like the people in the media sector, we have the UCC, Uganda Communications Commission. Under that act, there are provisions that create a kind of a quasi-judicial element where they can investigate, they can entertain, you can lodge a complaint, and they can render a decision or a position. True. So all these laws that create these tribunals, these bodies, they all work hand in hand to deliver justice to the Ugandans, but many of them are supervised by the High Court. So if I'm dissatisfied with a position in a tribunal, I can now move to the High Court.
Oh, so just to give a case scenario, well, recently, of course, we've been having some of the politicians being imprisoned and some of the political actors, let's say political actors, and when they are in prison, they're like, they are taken to the military court. But then after like, no, some of their lawyers say, no, let's go to the High Court.
Correct.
And then like, no, we will not hear their case from there. Therefore, we won't go there. They have to be heard from this side, something like that. But they're supposed to be working under the High Court.
Correct. The idea is that some of these courts that are established, they have a focused area. For example, if it is a military court, really people in there, they have a military background, they are all speaking in a military sense. Sometimes, once they render a decision, their decision should be checked by the High Court, which is purely a civilian court that appreciates I'm not saying that the military court is not appreciative of the law as is. They understand the law because and the beauty is that some of the legal officers there actually, we are with them in school. So they have also understood, they have gone through the legal training. So they understand the legal procedure. I think
that's the beauty, or that is the benefit of politically resurrecting what the Supreme Court had put to death.
Correct. So some of the decisions, because some of those legal military officers, they also interpret these legal positions. So they also find a reason here and there. But you see, with those military courts, I think they became so much because of the politics that was involved and everything. But there was a Supreme Court decision that was interpreted by our Land Senior Counsel, that is Counsel Kiyowa Chwanuka. He gave advice to the House, he did everything. So I think his guidance, in my view, him being the head of the bar, I may beg not to differ much from him, but what he said, what he told, what he advised, the position of the law, I think they even proposed an amendment. They proposed an amendment. So really, Ugandans can still find themselves in the military court. They can still find themselves in the military court. But that doesn't take away the fact that the High Court still has supervisory powers over these other courts.
No, if I hear you very well, what you're saying, whether you've been, your case has been transferred to the military court, still the main issue is justice.
Correct.
Is a Ugandan able to get justice from this court? Everything is
at the end of the day, me as a legal practitioner, there are certain basic principles that I should understand in any setting. Was number one, did I understand the charges against me properly? Was I given an opportunity to defend myself? Whoever was accusing me, did he or she bring evidence against me? Was I given an opportunity to cross-examine and double-check that evidence? Was I given ample time to prepare my defense? So once those basic elements, are available in a setup that is not illegal, then a Ugandan can be confident that they are getting justice. But once any of that is missing, it doesn't matter whether it is a High Court that has sat, and I was never given a right to defend myself, either with a counsel of my choice or an advocate of my choice, either I was not given room to prepare my defense, then I will appeal against that decision in the Court of Appeal.
Yeah.
Recently, I entertained a matter in the High Court where I believe that the judge should not be the one to sit in this matter. I had my own reasons, and my clients were we were convinced beyond doubt that the judicial officer should not handle the matter because he had been involved in the plea bargain system. You know, in a plea bargain, now this is another thing. In a plea bargain, somebody comes and says, I admit I did the wrong thing. I stole someone's thing. I am seeking leniency from you. And then you forgive them, and they give them a lighter sentence, and they serve it. But remember, once that process fails, then you have to go to trial to prove the case. Now, my client had gone into that system, and he had accepted that he had done the crime. But the system did not conclude the matter. The same judicial officer was now presiding over the trial.
The trial.
And I said, no.
Yeah,
I made the application. I made my application. But the judge was very okay. He was very fine. He listened to my reasoning. I quoted for him the law and everything, and he accepted. So I am trying to make a point that even if it is the High Court and you feel there is injustice that has happened against you, either by that judicial officer, you have right to appeal. You have right to challenge the decision because it's not the final. It could be that he's also a human being. He's biased. He came on a bad day.
I don't know if you came up. It's a bit political, but you know, we can't run away from politics. There is a judge who was actually in a case of voter results petition, election results petition. I think that side of Masaka.
Yeah.
And they were saying, okay, you were once in the NRM party. How sure are we that what you are, you know, are now trying to conclude on this matter that you're really not biased? Because the person you're saying that one is from the party you were working prior. He had to defend himself as a judge. Back then I was already, he has accepted, he has ever been in the NRM party. And these are still saying, we can't say you are saying the truth because you are once in that party. So you could see the compromise that can come in if we are not careful as a judge.
Yeah, there is a thin line between a judge being biased and a judge doing, or any judicial officer. When I say judge, mainly they focus, you know, High Court judges and other judges. But any judicial officer at any level, it could be a magistrate, it could be what. But there is always a thin line that a person or this judicial officer is either conflicted or not, but given the fact that they have that judicial oath, we can't take away the fact that they are human beings. You know, they come from society, and that's where I started from. Everything is with our community. So this judge or this judicial officer should be able to distinguish or to separate his personal feelings from the matter. That's what the judicial oath requires. That he should be unbiased. It doesn't mean his political background and everything, that once you assume that position as a judge, even your peers change, because remember, we could have been friends, you know, chilling all the day out there. But now somebody has become a judge. And I'm going to judge a matter where this person is. So some of them take up the, you know, they recuse themselves. They say, I will not handle the matter. Others can take on, but with caution, they know, because it is about really the facts, the law, and the analysis you make as a judicial officer. So me as a legal practitioner, I assess, yes, the allegation of bias is there. Somebody has made it. But I want to assess, what does the law say in the circumstances? Did this judicial officer follow that? Once I have you offside that, then I have a case. But if it's just mere allegation, then it is, you know, a talk. You know, it is, you know, the roadside talk. But what matters really is for me to be able to appreciate that, have you followed the process? Have you followed the law? Because I'm a legal practitioner. The judge is practicing the law. I'm also practicing the law. Just that he's on the other side. I am this side. That's the only difference. So that's it.
Yeah, well, conclude this episode with the literacy issue now when it comes to the Constitution. You talked about someone being in position to understand whether his file was handled well by the judge. But you see, what I have observed in our country, we are having the unblind leading the blind. We are constitutionally blind.
Correct.
And we are led by those who are constitutionally unblind. You know. Me, I don't know. So how can we deal with this matter, Council?
Wow, thank you. I think this is very, very true. Many Ugandans do not know, and some do not know that they don't know, and that causes a bigger challenge in a sense that if you are unaware of what is happening, you can't even question it. So this is a big challenge. I want to understand that is it 60-something% of Ugandans that have gone to school? If not 70, I don't know. But
no, it is 80. President Museveni wrote last year and said he's very happy UPE and USE and other, you know, we have now over 8% of Ugandans who are literate.
Correct. There is a big difference between going to school, learning, and actually being able to understand how the circumstances of the world you are living in operate. The reason I won't say this, I won't drum it so much, but this is the point. Even lawyers or even judicial officers, we keep learning every day because the law transforms every day. That even when you understand the basic legal approaches you studied in school, either in a different course, because I think one of the policies National Council for Higher Education introduced in the law that establishes it is that many courses people should have at least an introduction to law. But this law keeps changing. So many Ugandans do not follow the transition, do not follow the changes. So they find themselves either outside. And the law, the Constitution should be an interpreted document in very many dialects in Uganda. Either in Luganda, Rusoga, Rutoro, Runyankore, Ruchiga, Japadola. But Ugandans do not have these interpreted versions because the bodies that are supposed to do this, they have not done so.
They are sleeping.
They are sleeping on job, which is a very big problem. Now that makes many Ugandans, and the worst challenge is that ignorance of the law is not a defense.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
You cannot say in court or at any forum,
I was ignorant.
I didn't know the law. Therefore, Mr. Judge, forgive me. No. That you can't afford that. So it comes back to the Ugandan. How vigilant are you? How often do you visit your lawyer to consult? If you are not visiting the lawyer, how much more access to information you can get about the legal aspects? You are in a field, you are running a shop. How many laws rotate around that? You are driving a car on the road. How many laws that govern driving on the road? Ugandans don't do that, but rather we use much of our time in very funny things on our TikTok accounts, on our Facebook accounts. But this information is available. It's
recently, KCCA came up with what they call trade order. And I was on a border. And the man was complaining. These people. And then I told him, asked him, okay, you tell me, how many of those vendors know by law how they are supposed to be treated?
And
he kept quiet.
He didn't know so. It's very true. Yeah? It's very true. So this is the bigger problem. We Ugandans do not seek knowledge. Actually, even many of them come to legal offices when it is too late. Somebody is going to a transaction that is going to cost billions of money, 600 million, for example. And then the person comes to you at the tail end of the transaction. They have already paid so much money.
He signed.
They have already signed, but they have not taken prior steps. You see, when you have a lawyer or a medical doctor, the reason you call them a personal lawyer or a personal doctor is that you schedule visits with them often for them to check even and predict future diseases that you may have. so they can reverse.
Yeah. That drink you're enjoying,
Yes.
in 5 years,
Yes.
you might experience this.
But people have what they call personal doctors, whom they don't visit.
Oh.
Whom they only call when a child is sick. Or when they are actually sick. That's when they visit that doctor. But a personal doctor should tell you, don't eat this, eat this. Based on your health, based on your genes, based on your knowledge, this is what you should do. So you schedule visits that are purposeful, intentional. Before you actually get sick, they reverse all that. Same thing should be happening to the lawyer. If you have a personal lawyer, schedule prior visits to the problem.
You have a business and you don't have a lawyer.
And then once you lose so much money, you go hunting for a lawyer. Now you get a lawyer who has not understood how you started. And the lawyer will only come focusing on the problem you've given him or her. But they don't understand. They will be advising you, bringing advices or actions to do that are actually contrary to you as a person. Because they don't understand the individual.
Yeah.
But if I understand the individual, I understand the business, I know that this man's vision is this direction. If we take this course of action, we are going to lose much money. I may be, as a lawyer, focused on litigation. But I know your nature, you are not a person to litigate. You want quick solutions. Then I'll opt for mediation, I'll opt for arbitration, I'll opt for other things. So I think the problem is that Ugandans, we do not seek knowledge or we do not seek help before we wait for problems to come and then we look for solutions.
So the people in the ministry, they are sleeping on the job.
Correct.
And now even me, the Ugandan, I'm as well. Now me I'm slambering. If they are sleeping, I'm slambering.
Correct.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be that.
Shouldn't be the it shouldn't be the way to go.
Yeah.
And very many things in this country, by the way. The other day, the president assented to about 3 or 5 laws. He was talking about building permits and the changes they are putting in all that, fines and all that, the buildings that they're establishing a board. But Ugandans are not interested. Why? Very few in the building sector, in the real estate sector, are the ones to follow up this. But no Ugandan is going to sleep outside a building. So we should take an interest in these things. But we don't. So laws are passed, they are on the shelves. They wait for the lawyer to come and open them. So I think the appeal to Ugandans, in my view, is that we should be a little more deliberate, should be a little more conscious. Let's find out this knowledge before we get problems.
The fear from Ugandans, like in approaching you, is you lawyers are expensive. They even say it with tears. Lawyers, you are expensive.
I think
why do you do it that way? You went to you went to law school to come and help me.
Correct.
Why are you making things difficult along the way?
This is my version and my take about that narrative or that school of thought. This is my narrative. The position is that lawyers are not expensive per se, but this is why lawyers become expensive. People go to lawyers after a problem.
Oh.
So since you've come late, you come when challenges are so piled up.
Oh, there is ordinary and express.
So you find the lawyer has to do a firefighting approach. You know, when a house is on fire, somebody has to, you don't care about the order. You must save whatever you can save. Now, this is the bigger problem Ugandans have. I'm going to use one small example. By law, every company must file what we call an annual return in Uganda.
By law?
By law. Filing annual return requires only 50,000 Uganda shillings. 50. When you're filing a return in total. Actually, it's 50. Only 50,000.
Emitwale etano.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, Ugandans go home after signing, and they have opened up a company. They don't file the return. Now, 10 years later, this 50,000 has tripled to 500,000. Now, in the company law, there is a section which says that every director of every company, and that company is uncompliant to anything, that director is fined 200,000. They use the word currency points, which translates into 200,000 for every month that company is not compliant. Now, if I just set out to implement only that section, you don't know how much money I'll make for the government.
Because if I failed to file my return in 1 year,
correct,
that means in the second year, every month.
Correct. So every month of every year, you are uncompliant.
Yeah.
And every month attracts 200,000 for every director in that company. Now, it means that if we are 5 directors in our small company, each one of us, each month, is in default of 205, that is 1 million shillings. Now, if we take 5 years without complying, meaning we directors have to pay 5 million in fines. Let me use another small example on the people that run churches.
Yeah, as I get out of here, conclude with church.
Many churches are registered either as non-government organizations. Once you register in that category, you must file also a return at the NGO bureau, because you are an NGO per se. Even when people have challenges that we should not be registered as NGOs, we should not be registered as what, we should not be registered as what. But that is the current law. You have registered under that law.
You keep filing the returns.
You keep filing the return until what you want comes. Now, if you run an organization for every month without a valid permit, you are fined 2 million Uganda shillings in fines. So somebody runs an organization 5 years without a valid permit. And they come to you as a lawyer, they want you to renew. Now, when they come to you and they want to renew, you find that you have, let's assume, like 70, 80 million to pay in debt, in fines. Now, when you give them the bill of 100,000, the best option is to run out of the organization. But why? They only failed to file a return in time.
That was worth 2 million.
Was only, no. Actually, for that return is only 50,000.
50,000, yeah, that was worth 50,000.
Which now led to this problem. Now, when they come to the lawyer, they find the lawyer very expensive. But if you visited your lawyer prior to this,
he would have advised.
He would have advised you. He would have told you what to do. You would have averted a lot of problems. So that's why many Ugandans think lawyers are so expensive.
Counsel.
Yes.
Please allow me to say we will have you for the next episode.
Thank you so much.
I think Ugandans, you've enjoyed our episode 1 with Counsel Enock Tumwine. We will have him for the second episode. And remember, we have to talk about the case backlog, and we have to talk about how are these judges appointed, by the way. Is he satisfied with the way we appoint judges in Uganda, and many other things that you go through that need the law to come in. Probably you've been blind like me. Let the unblind unblind us as well. We thank you and we say bye-bye for now.